Peter Holehan here with Alabama State women's head soccer coach Jodie Smith. We're talking about National Signing Day 2016 and comes off the heels of a season in which you lost 8 seniors. So of course, Coach Smith had a lot of work to do this offseason. He brings the biggest class in ASU soccer history. Coach, what is it like just going on this journey and having to recruit as much as you did?
Well, that's an important part of the job. It's really something I look forward to, and as a staff we look forward to getting on the road and seeing the players play. And fortunately, we were able to get around the country a good bit and saw a lot of quality players. Love to have had a bunch of them, but we're really pleased what we signed for our class this year, and I think they're going to come in and answer a lot of questions.
Of course, the thought process had to be, what are you going to do about the defense? You had 3 players who were among your most active, dependable players who played in the range of 1,700 to 1,800 minutes for you on the season. You're talking about players like Shelby Deanna Holland and Katie Walther and Emily Zlakowski, very valuable players. Looking on the defense, I noticed you picked up a few. You got Alanna Manning, Mercedes Padilla, and Britanee Harris. What do those 3 bring to the table for your program?
Well, Alana's out of Woodbridge, Ontario. She plays for a great club team, and I think she's going to come in and really solidify the back line. Organizationally, she's very composed on the ball, and I think she's going to be able to direct the traffic out of the back and keep us organized in the back. Mercedes Padilla is a really vocal leader, another central defender. Central defender was an area that we felt like we really needed to address this year. So we bring in, Alanna and Mercedes. Mercedes again is a very vocal leader in the back, and just by communication alone, she will help keep us organized. And communication is always big in the back. And then Britanee Harris is a very fast flank player, local product, in-state product from Huntsville, Alabama. We're really excited about her. Her ability to get up and down the field is going to really be able to help us attack out of the back.
And you talk about the midfielders. You have 3 players who could possibly see some time there. Players like Meaghan Fielding, LaRue, and an earlier signee who you already brought in was Inma Martinez, right?
Right. Well, Inma, we were fortunate to get her. She was an NAI All-American. We were able to get her to transfer here this spring, so it's nice to get her involved in training with the team already. LaRue is someone I was fortunate to see at an ID camp out in Seattle last summer, and I think she's going to really come in and bring a lot of composure to midfield. She's a quick attacking player that I think will help solidify and give us really good numbers in midfield, where we have a lot of options, a lot of competition for playing time. Meaghan Fielding, same thing. She comes from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we're fortunate to have her come in and be comfortable right away, because we have 2 players from her hometown, from her club. So she's a very versatile player. She can play in the back as an outside back. She can play in midfield as a defending or attacking midfielder. She's a aggressive player, likes to get forward, loves to get involved in the attack, and I think she's going to do good things for us as well.
Yeah, you talk about going to Nova Scotia. It's become a familiar pipeline for Coach Smith here. Last season, getting Larissa White and Emily Fleming to join the program, so you have a 3rd player from that same general area, right?
Definitely, and when they come in and visit, they get comfortable. They know those 3 already actually knew each other. So as coaches, you get comfortable with, it's like you're fishing. If you find a good spot, you want to keep going back to, and as long as we can continue to get quality players like now the 3 that we have from Halifax, we're going to continue to go back there.
And you had another player from Canada as well, right? You had
Alanna,
right? So 4 players now from Canada. How about that? That's something.
Right, great players up in Canada. They've got a lot of options for them, and we feel fortunate to have them.
You switch over looking at the forwards. You also brought in 3 of those, so you split it evenly 3, 3, and 3 if you're looking at the forwards, midfielders, and defenders. A couple of those players we're looking at are Janeece Ader, Lexi Krieger, and also Farrar. So what do we see from those 3 players up top?
Well, they're all quality goal scorers, and that's something you need in soccer. They're very composed in front of goal. They like to score goals. They like to get forward, and they're very dynamic. We've got quality goal scorers here, but now we're starting to get older in that area, and we need to make sure that we have quality players coming from behind them. I think all 3 will challenge for playing time. Lexi Krieger comes to us from Peninsula Junior College, and Coach Canyon Anderson does a great job up there. I'm fortunate that we've already had 2 players come to us from Peninsula, Shelby, who you mentioned, and Deidre Woodward. So Again, those relationships you build with coaches down the line pay dividends. And Farrar comes to us from Germany. She's a military dependent. And the nice thing about her is she gets to play in the German youth system where she lives in Stuttgart, but she also plays for her high school Department of Defense dependent schools team, and she was the Stars and Stripes European Player of the Year. Again, dynamic goal scorer, loves to get forward, loves to score goals, and has a knack for scoring in big games. And lastly, Janeece Ader plays for a Quality Eclipse ECNL team out of Illinois. Again, a very pacey player that likes to get up, likes to get behind defenses. And again, those are qualities that every team has to have.
At a glance, when you look at these players, you'll notice that a lot of them have championship experience, and that seems to be the case for most of these players. That had to be a big recruiting feather in your cap, right? When you see that,
right,
all the way down the line of players who play in big games and able to win.
Well, you want players who are comfortable on the big stage. When you get into a pressure situation, if they've been there before, not that it ever comes second nature, because big games are big games, but they're comfortable. They've adapted to the environment. They understand the demands that are put on them, and they produce. And those are the type of players that build programs, that make programs successful. And those are the type of players that we want playing for us here at Alabama State.
Coach, how would you kind of describe this group as a whole? What are some words you would use to characterize them?
I would say complete. It answers all the questions that we had as far as being able to replace who we lost. We lost 8 seniors that have really been invested in the program. So I think it's a complete class. Again, we answer the needs that we have in the back, in midfield, and up front. So I think they'll leave a legacy. They'll make an impact. They're quality kids, not only on the field, but off the field. And those are the type of student athletes that you want on your team.
Another thing I notice are players, when they come here to Alabama State, they have to fill out questionnaires. And when I was looking at the questionnaires, I noticed a lot of the players, one of the first things they said was how easy and comfortable they felt with the players who were already on this team. So they already felt like this was a home for them. And what was the case there?
Well, those are nice things to hear. Part of the official visit is when you bring them in, obviously, do they get along? Team chemistry is a really essential ingredient into overall team success.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate over the past couple of years to continue to build team chemistry. I think it's one of our strengths now. And when we bring players in, we want them to feel comfortable with the players around them. That there's a friendship developing there, so when they get here in August, they're already comfortable being here with their teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was the largest class ever in the history of Alabama State soccer. 9 new players will be here in the fall, Coach. So you got to be excited about that, right?
I'm really excited. August, signing these kids here in February, and before we know it, preseason will be here, and I'm really excited to get on the field. Not only with our new players that we signed, but to see how they fit into how the pieces fit into our overall team. And I think really great things are on the horizon for us this year.
All right, that's going to do it from here. Signing Day 2016, Alabama State women's soccer. Lots of new players are coming in this fall.